Pterodactyl here, and today we got a short Repower video I'm going to give you. So we're just going to give you a snack. We're not going to give you dinner. We're going to give you a snack. And what I had done is repowered this billy goat blower with a Predator motor, because the Honda motor took a crap. And I don't know if you're familiar with this particular model of Honda engine. It's kind of their throwaway engine. It's not a real good one. And if you notice, in order to get to anything on this, you gotta split it in half. It doesn't have a removable head. So if you need to get at the valves, you gotta pull the piston, the crankshaft, everything out to get at the valve train. And that can be very labor intensive and expensive. Plus the valve train on this particular engine is kind of weak. So the customer brought in this blower and I said it needs a motor, and he goes, well, Taryl, I got me one of them Predator engines I had bought to use on something else and it wouldn't work. And I said, well, go get it. So he went and got the Predator engine and said, Taryl, do you think you can make it work? And I said, I'll try to make it work. And guess what? I made it work. And I'm going to show you what I had to do to make it work. So the first thing we needed to do was make sure it had the same crankshaft diameter and length, which was 3/4 of an inch, and it did. So all the engine mounting bolts lined up, and there's 2 bolts behind the fan that lined up, so that all worked out good. The only thing I had to do was the muffkin. I had to redo the muffkin. And if you notice, one thing I had to do was take a ball peen hammer, and the ball part, you can still see it's got the orange paint on it, is I had to beat some clearance into the back of that housing. And then I cut the muffin, the manifold pipe, I cut it right in the middle, the original muffin. And then I went in my junk pile of exhaust parts. That's why you gotta keep this stuff. And I found me a couple of 90s, like this one. And I cut it and welded it and relocated it. Now, since I extended it and raised it up, you know, when it runs, it's gonna vibrate, and eventually this probably would have broke. So that's why I took a piece of flat stock and twisted it and welded it to the bottom of the original muffin and secured it here. And then we just put it all back together. The only other interference I had was the gas tank. This ridge on the gas tank, it hit up against here. So those 2 bolts behind the fan that I had to tighten to pull the motor against this housing, all it did was it kind of pushed in on this plate, because this plate is like what, 18 gauge steel or something. It's pretty flexible, so it just pushed it in. And then, you know, I had to fill it with dinosaur syrup and dinosaur juice, and we'll fire it up. Fire it up, fire it up, fire it up. Fire it up. There you have it. So maybe you got one of these billy goat backs and the motor took a crap on it. That's all you need to do to repower it. Just got to relocate the muffin. So there's your little midweek snack. Tune in on the weekend to get the dinner. This is just an appetizer. That's what I should have called it, not a snack, an appetizer. This is a midweek appetizer. Repower. And there's your appetizer. Woo! Repower, Billy Go! And don't forget, follow me on Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And there's your appetizer. Midweek.